Hi viewers, welcome to SEKHAR'S Bio Factory for NEET. If you like this video, subscribe my channel and click on bell icon to get notification. In this video, I am going to explain one of the topic in respiration in plants. It is glycolysis. In the process of respiration, oxygen is utilized in every living organism, and after completion of this respiratory process, carbon dioxide and water along with the energy are released as a byproduct. But the respiratory reaction, it requires oxygen. But some of the cells, these are present in oxygen presented or absented condition. The first living cell which is evolved in planet, it is lived in an atmosphere that lack oxygen completely. This condition is called anaerobic condition. Even among present day also, many living organisms we know of several, these are adapted to anaerobic condition. In this, some of these organisms are facultative anaerobes, while the other, the requirement for anaerobic condition, it is obligate. In this, the first type of anaerobes called facultative anaerobes. These facultative anaerobes, these require oxygen, but even in the absence of oxygen also, it can survive. Such type of anaerobes called facultative anaerobes. Generally, they perform aerobic respiration. When oxygen is absented, in that condition, these are adapted to perform anaerobic respiration or called facultative anaerobes. The second type of anaerobes is obligate anaerobes. These organisms, they respire only anaerobically, and these organisms perform only anaerobic respiration due to lack of various necessary enzymes to carry aerobic respiration. These are called obligate anaerobes. So these obligate anaerobes 100% it perform anaerobic respiration only. So aerobic respiration, it occur in four main steps. In this, the first step is glycolysis. Second step is pyruvic acid oxidative decarboxylation, is also called link reaction. The third step is Krebs cycle. Fourth step is electron transport. But anaerobic respiration, it occur in two steps. These are, one is glycolysis, second step is fermentation. In both aerobic and anaerobic respiration, glycolysis is a common reaction or step we can observe. Glycolysis, it is a Greek word. In this, glycon means sugar, lysis means splitting. So in glycolysis, there is a splitting of sugar molecule can be observed. The entire pathway of glycolysis was given by three scientists. In this, first scientist is Gustav Embden, second scientist Otto Meyerhoff, and the third scientist is J. Paranos. Due to giving of this pathway by these three scientists, from each scientist, first letter from Embden E, from Meyerhoff M, from Paranos P. So these three letters are given to this pathway as EMP pathway. So glycolysis, generally it occur in cytoplasm of the cell. It present in all living organisms. And this glycolysis process, it does not require any oxygen for these reactions. And glycolysis, it can be defined as there is a process of partial oxidation of glucose into to form two molecules of pyruvic acid is called glycolysis. In this glycolysis, glucose, it will be splitted into two molecules of pyruvic acid. In plants, this glucose is derived from sucrose and it is the end product of photosynthesis, and these food materials are stored in the form of carbohydrates. The mechanism of photosynthesis is 6CO2 plus 12H2O. It is giving rise to C6H12O6 plus 6O2 plus 6H2O in the presence of sunlight. With this photosynthesis process, carbohydrates are synthesized as a end products. But sucrose, which is synthesized in photosynthesis, it will be converted into glucose and fructose by an enzyme. It is called invertase enzyme. These two monosaccharides, they are ready to enter into glycolytic pathway. In animals, starch is digested into glucose and then this glucose can be used in glycolysis. In glycolysis, totally 10 reactions take place and these 10 reactions are under control of different enzymes. In this, there is a splitting of glucose into two molecules of pyruvic acid can be seen with the help of 10 steps. So to understand the mechanism of glycolysis, this glycolysis process occur in following steps. In this, the first step is the glucose. The formula is C6H12O6. This glucose, it undergo phosphorylation reaction and it receive one phosphate from ATP molecule, and this received phosphate is added to 6th carbon of glucose. Now it will convert it into glucose 6 phosphate. This reaction is catalyzed by hexokinase enzyme. It is the first step in glycolysis. In second step, this glucose 6 phosphate, it undergoes isomerization reaction. At this time, glucose 6 phosphate, it will be converted into fructose 6 phosphate with the help of phosphoglucose isomerase enzyme. It is the second step in glycolysis. And the third step is the fructose 6 phosphate. Again, it undergoes phosphorylation reaction and by utilizing one ATP molecule, it receives phosphate from ATP, and this received phosphate, it can be added to first carbon of fructose 6 phosphate. Now it becomes into fructose 1,6 bisphosphate. This process is catalyzed by phosphofructokinase enzyme. The fourth reaction is the fructose 1,6 bisphosphate. Now it will be splitted into two molecules. In this, one of the molecule is dihydroxyacetone phosphate and other molecule is glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. This process can be catalyzed by an enzyme called aldolase enzyme. So previously up to here, there is a utilization of two ATP molecule and glucose 6-phosphate, fructose 6-phosphate and fructose 1,6 bisphosphate. All these molecules consist of 6 carbon in its structure, but whenever the fructose 1,6 bisphosphate it's splitted into two molecules, these two molecules consist of only 3 carbons in its structure. The two triose phosphate molecules are formed and these are in interconvertible, and this interconvertible reaction it catalyzed by an enzyme called isomerase enzyme. It is also called as triose phosphate isomerase enzyme. That means, so dihydroxyacetone phosphate, it will be converted into glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. It is called interconvertible reaction. Due to this reaction, totally two molecules of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphates are produced. In this, one of the glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate molecule, it is came from fructose 1,6 bisphosphate and other molecule it is came from dihydroxyacetone phosphate. These two molecules of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate or 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde, it is converted into 1,3-bisphosphoglyceric acid or 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate. During this reaction, we can observe there is a synthesis of NADH plus H plus from NAD plus. So totally two molecules of NADH plus H plus molecules are formed in this reaction, and this reaction it is catalyzed by one of the enzyme called glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate dehydrogenase enzyme. The seventh reaction is these two molecules of 1,3-bisphosphoglyceric acid, it is converted into 3-phosphoglyceric acid in the presence of an enzyme called phosphoglycerate kinase enzyme. At this time, we can observe there is a formation of ATP molecule from ADP. Totally, two ATP molecules are formed in this reaction. The next eighth step is the 3-phosphoglycerate or 3-phosphoglyceric acid. Now it is converted into 2-phosphoglycerate in the presence of an enzyme called phosphoglycerate mutase enzyme. In ninth reaction, this 2-phosphoglycerate now it will be converted into phosphoenol pyruvate in the presence of enolase enzyme. And the last reaction is in this the phosphoenol pyruvate it will be converted into pyruvic acid or pyruvate in the presence of pyruvate kinase enzyme. At this time also we can observe the addition of inorganic phosphate to ADP that leads to the formation of ATP molecule. In this reaction also totally two ATP molecules are produced. These are the 10 steps of glycolysis pathway. In glycolysis, due to partial oxidation of glucose molecule that leads to the formation of 2-pyruvic acid or pyruvate molecules with 10 steps. And in this glycolysis, totally 4 ATP molecules are formed. But in first and third reaction, due to utilization of 2 ATP molecule, the net gain is 2 ATP molecule. Along with this, in this reaction, we can observe there is a formation of 2 NADH plus H plus molecule in glycolysis. So the net gain of glycolysis is 2 ATP and 2 NADH plus H plus molecules. Now, depending upon the availability of oxygen, the end product it is pyruvic acid or pyruvate in glycolysis. If oxygen is available, that enters into mitochondria to perform complete oxidation to release more energy. But if oxygen is not available to this pyruvate, it enters into either ethanol or lactic acid fermentation to undergo incomplete oxidation and releases less amount of energy. These are the main important characteristic feature and mechanism of glycolysis pathway. Thanks for watching.